What up, what up, what up? It's your boy. I'm your host, Draper J, a.k.a. Brother Baldhead, a.k.a. The Mustached Menace, a.k.a. Mr. Brown Sipper. Put some respect, much respect on that last one. And I'm here to hit you with another episode. I'm back. Back like Stephen A. Hairline, if I can get it out. I'm back with another episode of Monday Night Mafia. Hope everybody getting through their day. No obstacles, no disruptions. Glad to hit y'all with a little Bills Mafia news, even though it was a slow week. Let me jump right into this comment right quick. I see we got a comment up. What we got? Jerry Reed. Hey. I hear you. Let's go, Buffalo. Appreciate you for checking in, Jerry. All right, now, as you know, the title of the show is how big is our championship window? Is championship or bust? You know what I'm talking about? So I'm here to kind of break down a few things I think that we need to probably look at as far as like our championship aspirational expectations. And let's jump right into it. All right, how big is our championship window? All right, and when I say that, how big our championship window is, I'm saying like the first championship. I think this team is very much so capable of getting multiple. 2, pushing it maybe I say 3. But let me break down to you why I believe the future is bright, of course, but you have to seize the moment now. All right, now. This is how I gauge the fact that if you have a championship window or not. Okay, were you good the year before? Yeah, we were good the year before. We sustained success. 3 out of the past 4 years, we made the playoffs. So how young is your quarterback? We have pretty young, transcendent talent type of quarterback that I think still has a lot of room to grow, even though he had a Pro Bowl MVP type of season last year. Josh is still young. With the contract looming, we'll get into that. We'll get into the contract talk in a little while with Josh. You got the offensive line. You got guys like D. Dawkins. You got Darrell Williams. You got the linchpin of your offensive line set. The rest of the line is coming back. We'll see what type of play we get out of guys like Cody Ford. What can we get out of a dude like Cody Ford? And you got Diggs, Tremaine Savage. You know what I'm saying? Maine Savage. You know, he's our quarterback of the defense. Matt Milano. You got all these guys. They're very young, early 20s, early mid, late 20s. They're going to be here for a minute. You got everybody locked in. Now, Tremaine and Josh, like I said earlier, their contracts are going to be something they probably wait and see. Let me ask y'all this. Should we sign Josh now or wait later after this season? I know I hear a lot of Bills fans always talking about, well, it was like 1 year production. Let's see what he does the next season. Now I understand where all of you are coming from, but do you realize he comes back and just makes a smaller step forward and does some of what he does this year is going to be more expensive? To me, I'd rather go ahead and sign him sooner than later. But like I said, that's on into later on. Now, let's break down this. You got, like I said, you got D. Dawkins extended for 4 years. You got Trey White extended for 4 years. You got Matt Milano extended for 4 years. Darrell Williams. But no, you got 2 pieces of your offensive line extended. Two key pieces of your defense still, extended out. Let's not forget, we extended Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde. So, but I count those guys, but I really don't. Reason being why I don't count Poyer and Hyde because they're pushing 30. They may have, I give them a solid 4 years of play, but I think it's about time for to start looking for, other options at safety, right? Well, now, if not now, sooner, but not. We might have a little wiggle room for a year or 2. So, with all that being said, I feel like the championship window that we have is more or less 5 years. And I'm saying 5 years, and I'm not saying it's going to be that just 5 years splash in the pan. We through. I think we'll have at least about 10 years of relevancy going to the playoffs. But I think to get that first championship is within his first 5 years, and I think we need to really seize that moment. And then just think about it. You had guys like Stephon Diggs. I know everybody's saying the stuff that's circulating. They're saying that, you see him out there working, ready for next season already. Next season hasn't even come yet. He's out there working. Then just think about the guys like that who came in, worked hard, and then it just spread it like wildfire throughout the whole locker room. You had him and Josh Allen on the same page, and just think we didn't even have a preseason. Just think if we are able to get a preseason this season, what that would look like. I think, and then the way him and Josh played, like they've been playing together since they was in Little League. Just think a whole nother offseason to work. Hopefully we can get something assimilation of a preseason. I know they're gonna probably if they open everything back up, which they're looking for more people to be in the stands this next season. But I think they may try to give us our preseason, but I think it may be abbreviated. And I'm one of those fans that felt like preseason was too long anyway. Take a game away, make it 3 games or so. Get your like with COVID last year, I think a lot of coaches have figured out how to just really just stabilize and put together a roster in no time. Well, no time really, because they didn't have anything else to really look at them other than practice. So let me get to some of these comments. Scott Reed, my guy Scott Reed says 5 to 7 years. Let's see how McBain draft pick mature and develop. And I'm with you on that. And that goes into my next topic. Then my next one. We got guys like Ed Oliver and AJ Epinesa. See, guys like that, which really haven't given us much as of right now. And you got to think about it with McBain, yeah, the tandem of Sean McDermott and Brandon Bean. You got to think how those guys, they're not like hit the field first day always gone. Other than you had Trey, Matt Milano when they showed they first could play first year or whatnot. That's not always gonna happen. So we got to be patient. Even myself, I'm kind of impatient with Ed Oliver. I see some things I didn't like on film, but yeah, I'm not an actual scout, so my word doesn't mean anything. I always say, hell, I wanted Josh Rosen. I'm glad I was very wrong on that one. But like I said, with AJ and Ed Oliver, I think one thing is with those two, we have to see what we have. Their rotation, I think, doesn't really give guys a chance to actually show their actual talents. You know what I'm saying? If you feel what I'm saying, I mean, because you put a guy out there for one play, and then you know how McDermott is with his rookies. I remember one game they put AJ out there. He jumped offside. I don't think he even saw the game. He didn't see the field anymore that game. The next game he played, I believe, but at that first that he jumped outside, he pulled him out, and that was it. So I think we need to get guys going, and then we can get somebody with a hot hand, somebody on that defensive line. I think that will help us in the near future. Now, we're banking on the draft. We're banking on that third wave of free agency. But we are in that era now. We have enough talent accumulated on this team. I think when we start going into these drafts, it's time to go best player available. Now, let's keep talking about this young nucleus. Let's move over to Tyron Johnson, the big grab Gabe Davis, as I like to call him. All right, now, Tyron Johnson. My thing is with Tyron Johnson, when we first got him, I was more or less like concerned about injury, health concerns, about staying on the field. His first year, he didn't complete the season. Last year, the year before last, in 19, I think it was like a platoon of guys that had Saron Neal. I think Dan Marlowe was playing like a little slot in certain packages. And then here we come to 2020. So you get him into 2020. He has 94 tackles, 70 solo, 24 assists, and he had 2 big picks. That one game in Pittsburgh that kind of changed the whole face of that game, and it broke it open for us. And then one game in Baltimore, the playoff game, that sealed the deal for us, really. So with McDermott, and Bean, they're able to find guys that I think that want to stay here. Tyron Johnson, and it's on the low. Nobody's really talking about it. He's going into a contract season himself this next year. But I think how everything is, the cap goes back up next year, and you got guys that's willing to come back and take a pay cut because they're down with what we're doing here in Buffalo. I think a guy like Tyron Johnson, well, he fits where he's the best version of himself. Not to quote the motto, you know what I'm saying, but he's the best version of himself here in Buffalo. He fits the scheme. He's a slot guy, so I don't see him kicking outside and going getting paid big bucks. I don't know what the top dollar is for a slot corner. I don't foresee anybody like overpaying for a slot, just unless they just have a trash secondary and they just need somebody. Then I see somebody try to throw that money at him, but I think the culture here will keep him here. Moving over to Big Grab Gabe. And I know it's a long-winded way, explaining how we're gonna go through, how we're gonna have this championship window. But these are some of the pieces that are the foundations that's gonna help us out going into the draft, and we just get the best player available. Big Grab Gabe. Who would have knew a guy what 4th, 5th round get what? He had 65 targets, 34 catches, 600 yards or so, 599, 7 touchdowns. At one point in time, he led the team in touchdowns as a rookie. So, in being we trust, I know it's like a cliche type of saying that we use in Bills Mafia, but I think our championship window is a good 5 years for that first one. My guy Scott Reed said 5 to 7 years. Well, I don't think it's gonna take us that long to get one. I think it's within this 5 years. I think we're gonna go through some ups and downs going through that, but we're gonna still be relevant for 10 years. I think 10 plus years. I have faith in this organization. I have faith in what McBain and Sean McDermott and Brandon Bain. Look, I can't even stop saying Sean McDermott and Brandon Bain are putting together here. So I think I don't want this to be a team that has all this talent. I always can get to the AFC Championship and I always fall or something. It's kind of like the old additive, like when we were the Bills, like it's something disastrous happens. But this team is built differently. We have a different mindset, different culture, different coaches. And I think that 5 to 7 year, 5 years for that first championship is very feasible. Tell me what y'all think in the comment section. Let me look in the comments. You got Scott Reed once again. These corners, Tyrone included, are practicing against the likes of Diggs, Beasley, now Sanders. They only going to get better. Iron sharpens iron. And I'm with you on that. Jerry Reed, Gabe Davis will have a season. Remember who he has in his locker room. Learn the game, watch the vets, and get it. And I'm with both of y'all on that. Iron sharpens iron. And then you got guys in the locker room. I think, and I was kind of like, when we got rid of Smoke, I was like, Gabe Davis can't be a number 2. He was saying like the 3rd, maybe 4th cornerback on the team. That coverage really wasn't light. He was taking advantage of it. And I kind of just really looked at a little bit more as highlights. I think he can possibly one day be a decent number 2. Now, we got Emmanuel Sanders coming in here for this one season. Hopefully he come back maybe one more. Maybe it's one and done. He may, after this season, he may retire. So that gives them guys like Stephon Diggs, Emmanuel Sanders to sit behind, Cole Beasley to learn how to route run. Because it was somebody that was breaking down like some footage as far as like how he's actually kind of like our de facto tight end in our offense. So us not getting someone like Zach Ertz, I forgot all about it. Us not getting someone like Zach Ertz really probably would have took him more or less out of our offense or took Dawson Knox out the field. It depends on how you look at it. Some people kind of really don't like Dawson Knox. I'm not ready to give up on him myself. But they would have took passing or targets away from either one of those guys. And then you don't want to stun a guy like Gabe Davis growth, who did so much in his first year. But let me move along to my next topic. Now, draft. I'm gonna ask y'all this. Do you think we need to go best player available or address needs? Tell me what y'all think. What do y'all think? Me, I'm always a proponent of going best player available. The way this team is stacked up, we have talent everywhere. Now it's time to get some athletes. It's time to get some faster guys out on the field, because it showed against Kansas City we're not fast enough to keep up. We're not fast. We don't have the weapons on deep. We don't have the pieces on defense, should I say, to stop their weapons. I mean, you got Tyreek Hill running wild. You got the tight end, Travis Kelce, doing whatever you want. We gotta have some pieces out there to stop that, or at least we need a good pass rush. Now, I have a mock draft that I did. Before I get into that, let me take a pause for the calls. If you check me out over on Facebook, make sure you hit that like button, hit that share button. Tell a friend to tell a friend that hashtag AATB is in. Let's make this thing trend. If you check me out over on Facebook, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you stay up to date on everything all about the Bills. Got a comment that slid in. Scott Reed, one more time. Appreciate you. Appreciate you guys for checking in, by the way. If Star is not in football shape, do we address inside defensive lineman first? That's a good question. That's only a question that probably I go as far as saying guys like Star or anybody that's in the league right now, especially on a team like this who knows what's at stake. They're not gonna come in, they're not gonna be out of shape. Now, there's a big difference between being just in shape, just regular me and you walking around being in shape and football shape. Now I know there's a big difference, but I think these guys take very well care of their bodies in the offseason. I think Star, he's not going to come back in overweight. I think throughout that whole offseason, he was probably working, especially as he's seen what type of season that we had, 13-3. He wants to come back and contribute to that. So I think he won't come back out of shape or not in football shape. But I'm not against us like going if it's the best player on the board. If it's a defensive lineman, defensive tackle that fits that Star Latuale mold, yeah, I'm all for it. Say we can get our hands on a Marvin Wilson, somebody like that. Somebody or what's the young kid from what's the guy from USC? Jay Tufalele. If I'm saying his name right, I might be butchering it. He wears number 78. Maybe that's the reason why I paid attention to him. He wearing 78. Maybe that might be our good luck charm. So we say we get somebody that's on that level. That's there in it like first, second, third round. Oh yeah, of course. I always get the best player available. Now let me jump into my mock. This is my second mock I did. I'm doing a mock every week. I just posted it up on all my social media platforms. I'm gonna make sure I post it again. So if anybody who missed it for today, hey, don't worry. You can check it out here. I'm gonna go over it a little bit. And I will post it on all my social media platforms once again during this week. All right, now here we go. All right, first pick. I was lucky enough to have Quiddy Pay filed to me. So when I checked out a little film on Quiddy, I like what I saw out of him because he has anybody who has that dog mentality. I'm always drawn to that. It's like, and then at one point in time, he was slotted at maybe like a top 10, top 15 type of pick. And then now I'm hearing everybody's like kind of sliding them down further. And then, there's a lot of Bills Mafia that's out there talking about Quiddy Pay to Buffalo, which I wouldn't mind that. Because to me, he is a top 10, top 15 talent. If somebody like that does fall to us, like a Quiddy Pay, I'm out, sign me up. Because we got to get athletes on that defensive line. Everybody else in the league I'll say this. I'll even go as far as this. I'm comfortable with us playing anybody else in this league, especially in the AFC, other than the Chiefs. I'll say that. The Chiefs I'm not comfortable with us playing the Chiefs with the setup we have right now. Even though we might make these changes to the team and we might not get 13 wins, we might get 11 wins, but I still say we need to go ahead and upgrade the squad. All right, now next pick, Pat Freiermuth. And this one I was kind of like, I was on the fence with because you already have like Dawson Knox. You got Jacob Hollister. You really don't have like a real deal veteran presence, even though I'm hearing rumors that we might go out and try to get Jesse James. That's the only thing he's going to bring to that room. It's going to be crowded anyway. But Pat Freiermuth, I liked the fact that he was a big red zone target. And then everybody kind of calling him Baby Gronk. Maybe it's the number, 87. He might have some Gronk capabilities. He could play on the line. He could play off the line. I don't know much about his blocking skill. Like I say, we got to revitalize our run game. So we get somebody like that, they got to at least be able to block and be effective in the passing game. But that's a weapon I think Josh would very much so flourish from. And it's kind of like creating competition for Dawson Knox, and that would kick Dawson Knox to the tight end too. So if we run 12 personnel, 2 tight ends or whatnot, I think he will be more suitable for that. It'll take a lot of pressure off him. If we get somebody that can be the mainstay tight end one, whether it be a year or so, anywhere, I don't care where we get it from. But in this mock draft, I got Pat Frymouth, somebody who could push for that tight end 1 and maybe kick Dawson Knox down to tight end 2. All right, now next pick, Kenneth Gamewell. I went after Kenneth Gamewell, BPA, best player available. But I like the fact that he can line up in the backfield, he can line up out wide in the slot, and he can return kicks. So, because we never know what's going to happen with the departure of Andre Roberts, what our kicking game, our return game is going to look like. Like, of course, yeah, we got Isaiah McKenzie, but has he gotten over the fumbleitis or the ball security issues from when we first tried to put him out there, when we had to end up just rolling with Michael Hyde? What was that? 17. So you get a guy like Kenneth Gamewell, somebody like Isaiah McKenzie. He can do all the same things that he can do, like a Swiss Army knife, and that creates more competition. So if you get a guy like Kenneth Gamewell in here first day and he's as good as Isaiah McKenzie, sorry, Zay, you might be, a healthy scratch, or you might not even make this team from what we signed him for. But I really like Kenneth Gamewell. I'm hoping we can get him just to kind of create competition. I like what he may bring to the offense. Now, in this next one, Rashad Weaver, one back defensive line again, because we're rolling with 2 DNs. You got Jerry Hughes, and you got Mario Addison on the other side. So you got those guys, they up there in age, 34-ish, a piece, 33, 34, something like that. Now, of course, yeah, we still have AJ Epinesa, but it's nothing wrong with bringing in more competition. We already rolled with the rotation. If we get Quiddy Pay and a Rashad Weaver in here, we get some guys that can rotate in, keep guys fresh, bodies fresh, and we can generate a pass rush. That doesn't do anything but help us out more as a team. And then things like just let's just say AJ doesn't turn out to be anything. You have 2 more other options you can kind of lean back on or fall back on. Now, I'm going to wrap this up because these next ones, they're really pretty much were throwaway picks and got pretty deep into who I really wanted. But you got, let me see if I can say it. Jamian Sherwood, you got Tay Gowan from UCF, and then rounding up the Dexter Coxon from University of Memphis. Yeah, I didn't never know his first name. I'm a Florida State fan. I really just didn't check in on Memphis like that. Other than I just knew about Kenneth Gamewell from the highlights. And this year I saw a little bit that Coxey was kind of like he was a decent number 1-ish, number 2 receivers in certain games. I saw him catch a few touchdowns in a few games that I did just really check out. He has nice size, nice stature. Somebody else, those last 3 guys will just really camp bodies to bring in, create competition. All right, now let me take a pause for the calls. If you check me out on Facebook, hit that like button, share, tell a friend that hashtag AATB is in. Let's make this thing trend. If you check me out over there on Facebook, let's make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on everything all about the Bills. Scott Reed says Gamewell, best receiver / back in the draft. Oh, yeah, and I'm with you on that. Got another one coming in by Gamewell. Gamewell bench 225 times, 21 times? My eyes bad. I'm trying, hold on, like they said 2 times. Like, hold on. Yeah, it said 21 times. Yeah, but with Gamewell, I really like him. I think he brings a lot to the table that we need, that we use in his offense. But, he's a rookie. McDermott doesn't like to trust his rookies. So if he does come in, he's as good as Zay. He may, I don't know. Me, myself, personally, I go ahead and move on, use a young guy. But you do want to keep somebody like Zay, who this year showed that he was very vital to our offense. I'm kind of still on the fence about keeping him. But you don't throw away how many touchdowns he had this year? 8 touchdowns. Yeah, you can't just throw away that type of production, even though he did most of his damage in the Miami game. Yeah, Jerry Reed, appreciate that. Yeah, 21 times. Thank you. Yeah, my eyes bad. I'm getting old. Appreciate you. Appreciate y'all guys for helping me out. All right, let's move on to. Our next topic. Josh's contract talk. Josh was recently on Kyle Brandt's 10 Questions. And then, he was asked about several things. One thing that got everybody up in an uproar, and they said it was on national media. I didn't see anything, but they were talking about the fact that he may or may not take the vaccine. Y'all tripping. Y'all really need to find something else to get upset about. You know what I mean? That's that man's right. That young man's right to do whatever he wants. If he feels a certain way, hey, let's not jump all over him. Hey, when we was that age, we did stupider things. To me, he answered the question the best way he could. It was very knowledgeable, and he moved on. Now he was asked. This was the main thing that caught my attention. He was asked about how does he feel about the franchise tag, and he said ew or whatever. Wouldn't have been my choice set of words, but he didn't. Well, he didn't like it. I think, like I said earlier, we really need to go ahead and get Josh signed sooner rather than later. Because if he goes out there, which I think you have the same type of staff in place, you got Ken Dorsey, you got Dable still in place. You got the whole same type of staff in place. I think in his trajectory has been up. I think and we've been to the AFC Championship game already. I think you go ahead and give him that money, because if he goes out there and does it again, it's going to be way, way more expensive. And then with the cap going, the cap goal, I believe, may regulate next year, but you don't want to be going against too much of the cap, knowing you kind of got, you got to sign your other draft picks that may, who knows, Ed Oliver in a few years might actually be what we projected him or thought he may be. You know what I'm saying? AJ Epinesa might turn out to be a stud. Who knows? You know how Brandon Beane and his picks, his draft picks are. It takes them a minute to get going, but they become at least decent contributors. All right, now this is my prediction about Josh's contract. Somebody said a Bobby Bonilla contract. What was Bobby Bonilla's contract anyway? That was a while ago. Throw that down in the comment section. Let me know. But my prediction as far as what his contract would look like would be, I think it's gonna be something like, let me get this together. All right, now, yeah, I think it's gonna be something like a 4-year, $185 million extension. Because this year on the 2021, he's getting maybe 900K ish. So, and then if they pick up that 5th-year option, which I believe they will do, that's $24 million. So combined, that's 25. So I think the whole of the contract will probably be like a 6-year, $210 million. Because you know how they do that. They're going to add those 2 little years in there as part of the contract. It's just an extension. But I think this is how it breaks down. Okay, of course, first year, 2021, 900K or so. 2022, 24 million. I think it's like 24,000. I hope he's not getting paid that less. All right, 2023, I predict it's gonna be like 45. The next year, 46. Year after that, the final 2 years, which will be 25 and 26, 47 apiece. And I think Bean will probably put something in there where the base pay will probably be something like 25, maybe 30 million ish. And you probably can recoup maybe like 15 million or so. Just in case we need to sign somebody hits the market, we really feel like they can upgrade this team, or we need some room to play around the free agency or whatever. I think Bain will probably put something like that in his contract. Y'all tell me what y'all think. What do y'all think that Josh's contract will be as far as like coming into this next season? Well, I guess coming to this next season. I mean, I foresee like after the draft, maybe they may get something done. I don't think they're gonna wait to after this season right here and then try to do something. I don't want it to get expensive. I don't think Bean or none of their front office wants it to get expensive, because a guy like that doesn't make that type of jump and just falls off. He's not gonna go back to the 2019 Josh. You know what I'm saying? So I think his trajectory is still gonna be up. It may not be a huge jump like how he did from 19 to 20, but it's gonna be noticeable. He's gonna be amongst the top 5, top 10 quarterbacks, I think, for years to come. Y'all tell me what y'all think. What y'all think about that contract situation? What are our predictions? What do y'all think as far as like how much y'all think he may get, or how much, what it may be? Jerry Reed. Let me see. 2000 to 2035, 1.2 million on every July 1st. Explain, explain a little bit more to me. Yeah, I'm always willing to be educated. I'm always willing to learn something new from everybody. That's what I created this for. We created this to have great dialogue amongst me, the fans, people I might not be able to see on an everyday basis, but we can just sit here and have a conversation about our bills. Yeah, elaborate on that a little bit more, Jerry Reed, so I can kind of understand where you're coming from. All right, now last topic before I get out of here. I haven't done the 30-minute or 45-minute show in a minute. I've been on. I had a lot of people on these last few weeks. It feels funny to be on Dolo again, but it feels good to be back in here doing what I do, and bring y'all this AATB news. All right, now last one before I get out of here. All right, Brian Dable's expectation. All right, now with Brian Dable. All right, first let's just jump. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. Year one, was of course, let's just see what the young kid can do. Let's put him out there, do his thing, and we'll work from there. That'll be the foundation. And then I hate when people say, when like outside of Bills Mafia or the Bills fandom, they always say, well, Josh Allen's first year, he was terrible as a rookie. They mustn't see the Vikings game where it was his play that won that game. Of course, it was just the Vikings, but anytime you coming from a school like Wyoming where they claim you didn't have any competition to play, to being on the NFL field and competing, they mustn't see, when he jumped over the guy's head. They mustn't see when he ran in 2 touchdowns. They mustn't see when he stood in the pocket against Detroit and Jacksonville and took the hit, still threw a laser strike down the field. Both of them were connected to Robert Foster. But I digress. Let me move on. All right, year one. That was the foundation. That one, when all those things I just named, they were more or less like, let's just see where we're gonna start from. All right. He can play a little bit out of hand, but like next year we're gonna work on that, which they did. 2019, they came back with, let's make him into a game manager. If you go back and look at 2019 highlights and just look at how Josh plays the game, he didn't really throw the ball deep. That's when they was all talking about they don't throw the ball over 20 yards. They was really trying to structure him into playing inside that 20 yards. Let's game manage. Let's make sure we find the open man in the dump outs here. Let's make sure we keep you sound and solid. And so we'll rely on this run game. We was good enough to go and have that run game going in 2019 to help out a young quarterback like Josh, and he flourished in it. He didn't put up 300-yard games. Like I said, when he came in this year and he was lighting up like he was, I didn't see it coming. I thought it was gonna be this year coming into he was gonna do that. But yeah, but I'm not a talent evaluator. I'm glad I'm not. And they were patient with him. They took those steps. Last year, it was that make or break. It was either you're leaving either way. Either you make the kid into make him into someone, or he falls on his face and you're gone either way. And I was saying that Dave was probably going to be gone either way, but I'm glad he came back. I was hard on him at first, but now he showed that he can call some plays. He can put it together. He called us some real creative things. I know that in that Denver Broncos game last year, how many times he called up those different creative plays and we scored off each one of them. And Josh asked like, damn, how many times we got to score? That was Brian Dable putting it together. So you got him coming back. So now, this next season, what I want to see him solidify Josh on that plateau. I want him to be to where if he leaves after next year, which I think he's going ahead and reap the benefits of developing this young quarterback who everybody said was wildly inaccurate. He wasn't going to be this. He wasn't going to be that. I think Jalen Ramsey's called him trash. Yeah. Imagine how you must feel after playing him 2 years or so. The first time in Jacksonville, we beat him. Then last year when we played him in LA. Well, played him in Buffalo when he was playing for LA. But I digress. Let me move on. Jerry Reed. Elaborated on that. Okay, that's the Bobby Bonilla deal signed with the Mets. Oh, okay. He gets 1.2 million per year after that. Yeah, I don't think Josh would, I don't think they'll sign up to nothing like that. I only see those type of contracts get done by mistake, look like in basketball and baseball. They had to be by mistake. If a guy doesn't play and you still have to pay him, then when in baseball they don't even have a salary cap, so they can pay a guy, the water boy, $500,000 a year for the rest of his life if they see fit. So yeah, but in football, I don't think we'll be able I don't think they'll do that with him. But now back to what I was saying, my last statement before we get out of here. With Brian Dable, I think he needs to solidify Josh on that platform to where if he does leave or whatever he chooses to do, that Josh can pretty much like call up somebody like we'll just bring up Ken Dorsey. Just say Ken Dorsey takes that role as the offensive coordinator. But his work with Josh may end up getting him an offensive coordinator gig somewhere too. I'm hoping we can retain him. So if Dable can get Josh to that form to where he's solidified, he's seen every defense, he's pretty much comfortable in making his own checks. He does that, he did that a lot last year. Check into a play, check out of a play. They're very comfortable and confident with him that he can check into the right play. So now let's just sustain it, if I can say the word right. Those heavy S's. If we can sustain that, and then Dable just goes off, does whatever he wants to do. He goes be a head coach somewhere. Now we just plug and play, bring a guy in, and Josh can be like, you know what, this is my offense. These are the routes I'm comfortable with. These are the routes I want to throw to. These are the formations I like. This and that, and this and this. Then it kind of be like that when Peyton Manning-ish type of control over the offense. Not that I'm saying that they similar in stature, but I don't know. Peyton Manning was a little bit more cerebral, but everywhere he went, even when he went to Denver, he had that offense tailored to what he wanted. Just like Tom Brady, that offense is tailored to the way he wants it. He's the offensive coordinator, and the other guys who so-called offensive coordinator, they're just there to help put input and make sure that they're always in the right position to win. Now, like I said, I haven't done the show this short and so long. I mean, I've had people on, and now I had a very good time bringing people on. Like, if you've been checking me out the last few weeks, I had Ryan Thomas on. I had my guy A. Rich from Built in Buffalo on. Checking if you checked in on that. In the past few weeks, my boy been riding with me, Iron Mike. Yeah, he gonna be back on soon. I started to put him on this week right here, but it was a slow Bills week. I was like, I'm not gonna even bore my guy with that. But when we get into draft talk, he lights up. So I might have did him this service, not putting him on. So now, with that being said, if you want to check out anything all about the Bills, base, social media platforms, the podcast, and all those good things there, you can go over to aatb.buzzsprout.com, and it has a link to all the social media platforms. You can listen to the podcast straight off the interface, or if you're part of any one of those music providers, which my podcast is available on, you can check it out right there. So I'm out of here like last year. Peace. Go Bills.